Shalom, 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 royal house of Judah. Barakatah to the Father of lights, through the spirit and power of the throne of King David, his beloved servant, and to his beloved Son, who is soon to return, Yahweh Shai, the Savior of Israel. All praises due. I wanted to read a little bit out of the book I told you I've been studying. This is it right here. The Apocalypse of Elijah. We get it any way we can around here. I'm not going to even waste any time. You know, I gave you the introduction. The introduction, and I kind of just want to get right into it. Now, this book it looks kind of thick, right? But I swear it's only about, shit. Well, yeah, there is some meat in here. You know what? You ain't gonna believe this. Well, this is about it right here. That's where the meat is, okay? From page 7 to about 65. 65. So, this book was written expressly for this time here. Especially for this time. And it is kind of difficult to interpret the way it's written. So you need other scriptures to shed light on it. I've been reading it for about a week now. And I'll show y'all what's in here. All right. If you bought the book and it's the same book, I'm starting off on page 7. All right. And it reads, hold on one second. All right. It reads, the prophet receives his commission. The seer exhorts the saints and reminds them of the power's promises. All right. The addressees are to refrain from sin and love of the world. So that's a message saying that you are the addressees. I'm addressing you through these scriptures, right? It says, well, the message here is to refrain from sin and love of the world. That's the first thing you got to do. That's why I tell y'all, don't be coming attached to none of this worldly shit, man. Okay? The addressees are to refrain from sin and love of the world. All right? The people are urged to recall the power's acts of mercy, past and future. Power sent his son to rescue us from the captivity of this age. Thrones and crowns await those marked by the name and the seal. All right? The power's people will be led in safety by the angels to the city of the power, while sinners will be ruled by the powers of death. I'm going to read that again. The power's people will be led in safety by the angels to the city of the power, while sinners will be ruled by the powers of death. So, only two ways to go. Either you're in the ark of safety or you're not, okay? The end time will see teachings which are not of the power. We see that, right? The power's law will be abrogated and its covenant broken. Now, You look up the word abrogated. I'm not going to rush through this, y'all. All right. Abrogated means repeal or do away with. All right. It means that his law will be abrogated and his covenant broken. The godly are not to be deceived. Power himself instituted the fast. All right. Fasting must be accompanied by holiness. Now, this is what, all right, you got to understand, because I know I'm going to get somebody in here. Yeah, why haven't we been fasting? We're supposed to fast. We're supposed to fast. Well, let me tighten that up real fast. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 58, verse 5. Is it such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Will you call this a fast? And an acceptable day to the Lord? Then it got a question mark. This is verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen? To loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke. Is it not, verse 7, is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out of thy house? All right, bring the poor that are cast out of thy house. When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh. All right. That means other Judites, other people of your nation, if they need help, you don't hide yourself, all right? You're given the hospitality. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thy health shall spring forth speedily, all right? And thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy rearward, all right? Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger, and speaking vanity. Now, back when this was written, the fasting was to let the oppressed go free. If you had workers and you were oppressing them, you removed the yoke. It means you had mercy on them. Okay, that was loving thy neighbor. See, that's what he says. Love thy neighbor as thyself. All right, and love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength. That's how you fasted. So don't nobody come in the comment board. We ain't supposed to be fasting. We need to call the fast for 48 hours. You're not going to drink any water. Not going to drink any water. Say y'all ass getting up in the hospital. That ain't what you're talking about. All right. So had to boom, bust you in the head, before y'all even start. Because I know y'all. I know you're going to do it. You're going to get somebody on there thinking that because his ribs is poking out through his skin. Oh, yes, Barakatah. I'm fasting now. I'm about to pass out. My head is hurting. The room is spinning. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get that blessing. No, nigga, you can get a hospital bed, all right, and a bill. That's your stupid ass going to get. Think that shit if you want to, all right? But back to the scriptures. Now, fasting must be accompanied with holiness. Got it now? Fasting is efficacious, meaning it's effective when you do it right. Prayer must be free from doubt. There's some nuggets in here. Hope you're listening. Hey, this is in the apocalypse of Elijah, right? Prayer must be free from doubt. All y'all praying and everything and worrying at the same time, ain't supposed to do that. Being wise to the times will render the power's people invincible. and fearless. Let me get that. Let me get that. Don't change that dial. You already know where I'm going, don't you? All right, this is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right, that's Isaiah 33:6. Right here, lined up with the apocalypse of Elijah. It says that being wise to the times will render the power's people invincible and fearless. Because I'm telling you what's getting ready to happen, so you're not caught off guard. Everybody else running around in a panic, right? The king of the north will appear. Now, finna get juicy. The king of the north will appear. Now, when it says the north, it's talking about the north country. But like I say, you got to follow this, man, because if it's talking about the north over in the east, that will be the land of Canaan. But I don't believe it's talking about that. The king of the north will appear. He will be labeled king of Assyria. Now, this is all speculatory, all right? Enough shit has happened for me to believe this, but I'm just going to spit the facts to you. Make out of it what you want. Do y'all know that Donald Trump has been declared king over here? Do y'all know that America is the land of Assyria, which is talking about here in the scriptures? That's who the Venezuelans are. I've been teaching y'all that, right? Assyrian, when the Assyrian comes into our land, well, did they not pile in here? They did, right? And they're here now, right? Knocking over apartment buildings and setting up shop. Did they not do that? They're doing it, right? All right. Follow the truth. Follow the facts. The king of the north will appear. He will be labeled king of Assyria. Now, label means that's a title that he didn't have before. What did they call him before? 45. President, right? This one here says he's going to be labeled king of Assyria. And look what it says after that. And unrighteous king. He will wreak havoc in Egypt. Now, you got two different countries named here. You got Assyria and Egypt. We know the Assyrians are the ones that took the northern kingdom into captivity, all right, after the fall of King Solomon. And we know that Egypt was the place where all of the children of the patriarchs were held in captivity to Pharaoh Ramses, right? Well, it says he will be labeled king of Assyria and unrighteous king. He will wreak havoc in Egypt. What is America called? It's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, right? Then it goes on to say a king will arise where? In the west. In the west, right? So, he will be called the king of peace. Now, I'm telling y'all, this thing jumps around, man. It starts at a whole, let me show y'all what it does. It starts at a whole different, you see how it's numbered? They got 4, 5, and all the way down, right? So, under marker number 4, it says the king of the north will appear. He will be labeled king of Assyria and unrighteous king. He will wreak havoc in Egypt. All right. We know Egypt is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, pursuant to Revelations. All right. The chapter escapes me, but we can find that later. Then in verse 5, and marker number 5, it says, a king will arise in the west. All right. He will be called the king of peace. He will kill the unrighteous king and vent his anger in Egypt. By a ruse, which means deception, he will deceive the saints. Now, what's interesting about this is it's the first time the saints are mentioned. So it's saying that there's going to be a king to arise in the west. He's going to be called the King of Peace. He will kill the unrighteous king and vent his anger in Egypt. By a ruse, he will deceive the saints. All right. Then it says, the power will reveal the king's signs to the saints. He will be accompanied by 2 sons, one on either side of him. The son on the right will have a devilish appearance and forsake the name of the power. The wicked son on the right will assassinate his father and assume supreme power. He will issue a decree that the priests of the land and all the saints be seized. All right. Sanctuaries will be closed. Homes expropriated, which means taken away by force. And the young be led into captivity. Abominations will be offered, and the usurper will exalt himself to heaven. So, whoever this king is, he's going to deceive the saints. All right. He's going to, the power is going to reveal the king's signs to the saints. He's going to be accompanied by 2 sons, one on either side of him. The son on the right will have a devilish appearance and forsake the name of the power. The wicked son on the right will assassinate his father and assume supreme power. All right. So, what do y'all make of that? If I take it back up to 5, it says a king will arise in the west. He will be called the King of Peace. He will kill the unrighteous king and vent his anger on Egypt. By a ruse, he will deceive the saints. Then it says the power will reveal the king's signs to the saints. He will be accompanied by 2 sons, one on the other side of him. The son on the right will have a devilish appearance and forsake the name of the power. The wicked son on the right will assassinate his father and assume supreme power. He will issue a decree that the priests of the land and all the saints be seized. Sanctuaries will be closed, homes expropriated, and the young be led into captivity. Abominations will be offered, and the usurper will exalt himself to heaven. All that's getting ready to happen. So what does that mean, abomination will be offered? Ain't they talking about changing the food? Ain't they doing that now? Have you eaten bugs and all kind of shit? Well, abominations are about to be offered right now. Coming up soon enough. They killed all the cows, remember? All the chickens, all the eggs, everything that you know, real natural people eat. They taking that and then they're making up abominations. Human meat, all kind of shit, right? Well, we're right there, okay? Now, who is this doing it? Well, shit. We got fucking Biden, that fucking demon, but he didn't step down, and now we got Trump coming up, all right? He got 2 sons. Well, he actually got 3 and 2 daughters. He got him, then he got DJ Jr., he got Eric, then he got Barron, and then he got Ivanka, and then he got a daughter after that. And his son DJ is a motherfucker. Donald Jr. is a mean, he rattlesnake mean. All right. Is it talking about him? Well, we're soon to see. Like I said, this, let me do it like they do it on TikTok. This is for entertainment purposes only. I ain't got no proof yet. We're going to find out. But I just thought it's interesting for it to be speculatory where you can have something for you to chew on. All right. Let me keep reading. Cities and people will be in a state of great distress. Now, we're getting ready to jump ship. It says 3 kings will arise in Persia. they will settle the Jews of Egypt in Jerusalem. Now we talking about over in the land. Look what he says. 3 kings will arise in Persia. Well, right now, we kind of got that. If y'all been keeping up with the news, Iran is Persia. The 3 kings you got Iran, you got Hezbollah and Hamas. And they tearing Israel over there a new asshole, right? You got 3 kings right now, right? Them the only ones bopping on Israel. It says they will settle the Jews of Egypt in Jerusalem. That's over there. That's the land. Dissension in Jerusalem, listen, will signal the advent of the lawless one. Who's the advent? What does the word advent mean? Well, let's look it up real quick. Don't never be too lazy to wordsmith it. Advent, right? The arrival of a notable person, thing, or event. That's what an advent is. So, it says that after all this fighting and dissension, okay, the lawless one is going to show up. War will break out between the kings of Assyria and the kings of Persia. King of Assyria is over here. Kings of Persia is over there. It's not the United States, aka the land of Assyria, at serious odds with Iran right now, and Hezbollah and Hamas. Yes, they are. They are. Okay. Number 7. Roman numeral number 7. Like I tell y'all, this book is weird. It goes down. A king from the city of the sun will make his appearance. He will kill the Assyrian kings in Memphis. He will order the destruction of the heathen, and their cults, sanctuaries, will be rebuilt, and the worship of power will be reinstituted. A general state of prosperity and bliss will exist. In the 4th year of the king of the city of the sun, the lawless one will present himself. Now, I'm thinking that's going to be Mecca, city of the sun, over there. That's just my personal belief. It says that in the 4th year of the king, in the 4th year of the king of the city of the sun, the lawless one will present himself. He will claim to be the anointed one, Christos. The saints are given the signs by which the true Christos can be recognized. Now, this is the Antichrist coming. The lawless one will take his stand in the holy place and exercise power over all things except death. So he's going to come. He's going to stand in the holy place. All right. And then it says, the signs of the lawless one will be revealed to the saints. Right? Tabitha will hurry to Jerusalem to rebuke him for his acts. Now, this is speaking figuratively. Tabitha is mentioned in Acts chapter 9 around verse 36. She was a woman that took care of the widows, and she was always committed to doing the things of the Lord. She wasn't worried about nothing in the world. She was totally committed to the Lord, 100%. She fed the hungry, she took care of the poor. She did the things that the Most High honored in women, not this bullshit that a lot of these women is doing now. She was totally riding with the Father 100%. This is these people that when they say Tabitha will hurry to Jerusalem to rebuke him for his acts, whoever these people are, they're going to be highly devoted to the Father, okay, and his beloved Son. The lawless one will retaliate by pursuing her to the regions of the west and cast her dead body on the temple. Tabitha will rise from the dead and renew her rebuke. Now, if you read the story of Tabitha, Peter ended up bringing her back to life because she had got sick, I believe, and she died. Peter prayed and brought her back to life. Okay, look what it says again. The lawless one will retaliate because she's going to rebuke him. The lawless one will retaliate by pursuing her to the regions of the west and cast her dead body on the temple. Tabitha will arise from the dead and renew her rebuke. Elijah and Enoch will come to oppose the lawless one. This is who they're calling Tabitha, Elijah and Enoch. You can also find this in Revelation, the two witnesses. It said that their dead bodies shall lie in the street for 3 days, and on the fourth day they're going to rise up. Okay, this is why it's comparing Elijah and Enoch, who are going to be resurrected in the near future from now, to oppose the lawless one over there. Okay, the son of perdition. You know, he's coming back. He did live at the time of Yahushua, but there's nothing new under the sun. He's coming back, all right? He will fight them in the agora of the great city. For 7 days, Elijah and Enoch will lie dead for 3.5 days, but renew their opposition on the fourth. The lawless one will again do battle against them to prove powerless. The lawless one will issue orders for the torture and persecution of the saints. This is the time that all these saints that are not part of this blessed generation are going to start getting that punishment, that torture. Okay. The lawless one will issue orders for the torture and persecution of the saints. Some will succumb to bribery, and receive diminished heavenly glory. Those who persevere will be seated on the power's right hand. Now look at here. 60 chosen righteous will don the armor of the power and oppose the lawless one in Jerusalem. So there's going to be an uprising in Jerusalem, and there's going to be 60 men. Now that's not talking about us here, no. This is another group. I'm going to show you why. 60 chosen righteous will don the armor of power and oppose the lawless one in Jerusalem. In retaliation, he will order that the righteous be sacrificed. Many will recognize him from his acts as an impostor. Christos, or Hamashiach, will send his 64,000 angels to the assistance of the saints. Now Yahushua getting involved. Those with the name and the seal will be removed on angelic wings. Gabriel and Uriel will lead the saints to the Holy Land. The convulsions of nature will evoke from the sinners a reproach against the lawless one. He will weep and bemoan his coming doom. He will order the death of the saints. Sinners will weep and express their impotence against the saints. Sinners will weep and express their impotence against the saints. The lawless one will join battle with the saints, but angels will come to their assistance. Power will command fire from heaven and earth to consume the sinners and the devil. A just judgment will take place, right? Elijah and Enoch will annihilate the lawless one and his adherents. Hamashiach will make his appearance, accompanied by the saints. The old earth will be destroyed. Hamashiach will create a new heaven and a new earth. The saints will share his company and that of the angels for 1,000 years. Now, you know what? shoot. I'm out of time, y'all. We got to come back to this. Told y'all, I'm still, you know, like I said, y'all see, it's a lot to dial in, right? Look, y'all sit tight, man. We got to go back into this, all right? Giving all praises to Yahweh, the Father of lights, to the Spirit and power of the throne of King David. Peace and blessings, royal house. Let's get it. Let's run it back, all right? I'm going to run it back right after this, all right? See y'all in a minute. KD out. Shalom.